Hi, everybody. Okay, so today I am going to repeat a video from a couple of years ago where I spoke about the holidays because most of us, or a lot of us, are going to be celebrating holidays here very shortly and for the next month. So we're going to talk about relationships. And in this video, I give you some tips on how to handle your gatherings with either family, friends, or whoever you're getting together with, work, because invariably, most of us end up spending some time with people who we are close to. And what I will say to you is, I think one of the greatest learnings in this spiritual awakening journey is that how we learn deeply is through relationship. If we are able to really understand that the people that come our way, whether it be family members, friends, whoever, whether we get along with them or not, neighbors, all of this relationship is the way we learn more about ourselves and how we can present ourselves in a way that respects our own energy, our own way of being, ourselves, but at the same time, giving that grace to other people as well. And that can be hard during the holidays, right? So I'm going to just shoot you on over to the video. Otherwise, I'm going to end up repeating the whole video right now. And again, it's a repeat from 2 years ago about this time, and really giving you a few tips, kind of some basic things, but then kind of not. Things that aren't that easy to do, I believe, and that take a great amount of practice. So that said, I'm going to talk a little bit about relationship and some tips for you to move forward in your journey over the holidays. I hope this is helpful to you because honestly, I will say to you, this is probably one of the biggest, along with the physical changes in our bodies and the things that we have to go through, the energies that we're dealing with, relationship and the people we are surrounded by and that we choose to surround ourselves with are our biggest learning tools in this journey and will help elevate us more than anything. But it's all about how we deal with the situation. So I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you enjoy the start of your holiday season if you're celebrating holidays over this next month or so. And pretty soon we're going to be here for the December energy update. I cannot believe we're talking about the end of the year, so we'll see what they have to say about that. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, and I will wrap up with you in the end. Hi everyone, it's Carolyn here to share another channeled message. This time I'm going to share a short channeled message that has a bit to do with the topic that I'm going to talk about. But today I want to talk about what I learned from the recent Thanksgiving holiday so that I can take it into and learn even further this next month as we go through other holidays for most of us. And I hope you'll learn from me and take some things away. So first of all, thank you to all of you who joined me, and also for those of you who are new. I appreciate you joining me. I'm Carolyn Zaiser. I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I offer these channeled messages for your awakening journey support. So for those of you who are new, check out below. There's a description box below in the video where you'll be able to see 6 tips on how to create flow in your body for health and wellness. It's a video that I've created so that you can learn how to create flow in your body during this most important time of awakening. So join me there, and then it will lead you to more free content. So with that today, I'm going to get going. I'm going to read this little channel, and then I'm going to talk about some of the things that I learned that I think you might be able to relate to, and then what I'm going to take into the rest of this holiday season, be it any holiday you observe where you're with family and friends that during this awakening time can often be difficult. So here's the channel. The times of you awoken in you, deep rivers run of lives you've lived too, magic inside that is for you to find, clearing out the clutter of eons of time. To open you now, the human for the first time, to the greatest of all that is you, cracked open wide. Now it is you shining through. Open now your heart to the light, mind, body, and soul, to be the one you find, this the awakening of you in the greatest of times. So that's their channeled message. And what I want to talk about today is what I took away from my Thanksgiving holiday, because I have talked with you before about as we go into these times of being with people that can either bring out the best in us or kind of the worst in us. And during awakening and during this life journey, relationships shift and change, and they are the most important learning lesson that we have as we come here to incarnate, to experience this human life. And then as we go through the awakening, they can challenge us even further. So remember, the relationships we have in our life are one of the ways our soul learns, the way we are able to continue to grow in these life journeys that we continue to have. So I'm going to go back to my Thanksgiving, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I learned during that time. Now, I'm not real great at observing my behavior after the fact. I'm really good at observing it when it's happening, but then I don't do a lot of reflection. But I did this time, and I want to share it with you because I do think that going into the rest of the holidays, I'm going to be able to make some different shifts and changes, and I already have done a little of that. So here you go. First of all, things that went well and then things that didn't go well is how I'm going to break this out, okay? And you might want to do that with yourself, because this is kind of a template for you to be able to take a look at if you had a holiday recently, forget whether it's Thanksgiving or not, and you're not in the US. You can look at the holiday that you recently observed and then kind of study yourself on it, okay? So break it down into what went well and what didn't go well. And then you're going to want to spend some time with that. So what went well for me was I spent 2 evenings and days with my family. Now I have a small family. Went back home to my mom's, and we also had my niece's new boyfriend there. So it was kind of cool because there was a different dynamic there than normal, a different energy that was brought in. And you could actually see, what was neat about this is I was the observer, like I've talked about before, trying to step back out of how we can get so pulled into the energies of family. And I'm talking primarily family right now, okay? Pulled into those energies of family that can often be kind of dysfunctional, or we go back into the ways we used to operate when we lived there, right? And this can also happen with friends. So don't assume this just happens with family. But I was able to be the observer. And what that means is I literally felt like I was outside of myself, watching the dynamics at the table and around the house those 2 days and when we were out socializing. And what this took for me is listening, okay? It's more about listening skills than it is communication skills. I'm a real communicator, and I'll get right in there and get into these conversations and dig them apart and give my opinion. I mean, this is historically me, right? Especially if it comes to politics and things like that, and most everything I have an opinion about. But you know what? In the awakening, I've realized it's just not what I'm interested in anymore. I'm not interested in feeling like I have to fight for everything, feeling like I have to try to convince someone of the right way because my way's right, or maybe that's what I thought, or I have some other piece of knowledge that I think that person needs to know. And I'm sounding like I'm really annoying to be around. I don't think it's that bad, but I annoy myself when I'm like that. I would really annoy myself. And I could feel in the past, before my awakening, when I would be at these family events and we would get talking about certain things, I would feel just this tightness in my chest and throughout my solar plexus. Now, I didn't understand what that was then, but I knew it was putting me into a place of discomfort to continue to be that way. So the awakening shows up. And now I've shifted and changed to the point where I understand that being the observer is incredibly powerful. And it allows you to really frame up your commentary in a way that when you do speak, people are going to listen this time, rather than being the one who's always talking. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's like this, but this is my scenario. And I think we all can get into, whether it's with siblings or parents, there's usually somebody, particularly in big families, that you like to go at it with, whether it's just, a engaging conversation that kind of can get, really, I guess I would say opinionated. Politics, we know what happens there. Any number of things. So I was the observer, and I'm going to tell you right now, I did this for 2 days. I was stunned at the fact that it lasted for 2 days. I didn't have to do a lot to get in that space. And I'm going to jump to the other one that I did while I was away. It was meditation. And the point is I think my meditation practice helped me with this going into this holiday. And I've meditated for about 3 years regularly now, twice a day. I have seen marked changes and shifts in my physical well-being, my life in general. And this is not a meditation video, but it also contributed to the fact that I could be the observer, more in the now moment, letting it flow, and not being the one that, and sometimes I used to be the one that kind of had to be right, and I didn't know it. I'd get whipped up into my head. So this came out particularly when we were playing a board game, and there were, I think, 6 or 7 of us playing, and I'm pretty competitive, but that's chilled out since my awakening. But what I found myself doing is I actually had fun this time. I mean, because think about this. When you put all that angst energy in and that fight energy in and that, oh, I have an opinion energy and I better get my words in and I want people to know things, oh my God, that just ties you up in knots. And so I just had this wonderful time playing this board game that lasted a couple hours. And it's kind of a stressful game, and there's a lot of strategy around it. And there are a number of competitive people at the table, but you know what? Oh my gosh, I didn't play competitively at all. I played smart. I didn't play in a way that was anxious. That didn't allow me to enjoy it, and I had a ball because I didn't want to play this game when we first started because I know how I get, but it didn't happen this time. So we do progress in the awakening journey where as we continue to grow in our vibration and the way we handle people, because this is a lot of the awakening is about the relationships we have with people and how we learn to behave differently. And some of it is because we've shifted and changed to a different vibration in our awakening journey. And we're more aware. So first of all, being the observer, big number one thing for me. Now, the other one, number 2, that went well, but also didn't go well, was I knew my limits. You got to know your limits. In other words, what are you willing to do when you're gone for 2 or 3 days and you're staying with someone else, family or whatever, even friends, and you're being dragged around to do all these things? Guess what? Just say no when you want. Just say no. And so I actually, and here's the other part too, is just say no about how long you're going to stay. This is a big deal. A lot of families have this thing of, oh, we're all going to stay together for all these X amount of nights. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go home after 2 days. So here's what I'm doing now. So I knew my limits at Thanksgiving, and I didn't really have to, I guess I'll just say, speak my truth with respect to that and say, no, I don't think I'm going to go. I'm going to stay home. Or, I'm not going to stay Saturday night like I normally do. I'm going to go ahead and go back. I just need some time to myself over the holidays, whatever. So many of us are freaked out and frightened to even say those things because we'll just be looked at oddly, right? But guess what I'm doing? I didn't have to deal with that really over Thanksgiving. But over Christmas, what I'm doing is I'm staying Christmas Eve night, and I just declared I'm coming home Christmas night. I mean, that's highly unusual. But my family has a number of things they're going to go do, people they're going to go see, and things I don't want to do. And it's after our Christmas. So I'm there for my Christmas celebration. But I said, and it was so hard, I said, and I just said this 2 days ago, thanks, but you guys go ahead and go to the movie and then to so-and-so's house. And I'm just going to head home. And now here's the tricky part of that is try not to make up some other excuse to add to why you're going home. I'll just let you handle that. Because then you go down the rabbit hole of kind of lying, right? Well, we all have those little white lies. And if you need to, kind of get some time to yourself, what are you going to do? But anyway, needless to say, know your limits and define it up front. Don't shock everybody, when the holiday comes up and says, well, I'm leaving today. Because we can do that when we don't want to confront something in ourselves. So know your limits, speak your truth. It's okay. All right. Now, also over the Thanksgiving holiday, I continued my meditation. So here's what happened. I got a little overwhelmed with people at my mom's house because she has a kind of a big house, but it's not, because it's an older home where, there's walls and everything too, but it seems like everybody's on top of each other. And I'm not sure why that is. But anyway, the point is I made a point of going up into my bedroom and shutting the door. And then what I did, because this changed everything. I just sat down and I did some deep breaths, and then I did really a quick meditation. But I made time for myself, time alone, whether it's getting out and taking a walk, whatever. That was a success for me. So I've got 3 successes. I was the observer, okay? I didn't dig in and get involved in all this stuff. I was the observer, and then I spoke when it made sense. Now that's going to be my biggest struggle forever, okay? Because I like to engage in conversation. I like to give my opinion. I like to tell you what I know sometimes. Oh my God, that's so annoying, isn't it? But anyway, I also know my limits of how long I'm going to stay. I'm going to apply that to Christmas, and I'm so excited I did that, because then I'm going to come home and I'm going to have Christmas night to myself, okay? And then I'll roll right into, starting to work again on the 26th. Time alone. I took that time alone. I meditated during that time alone. I didn't do my big full-blown 15, 20, 30-minute meditation. It was 5 minutes. But I breathed. It's all I needed to go back downstairs and be with everybody. It was amazing. And then the other thing that I didn't do, which would fall in the category of what didn't go well, was exercise. But you know what? That's okay. I wasn't hung up about that. We have winter here, and I wasn't about to go outside anyway. So there really wasn't much to do. But if you can get a walk in, oh my gosh, that'll change everything. That also will be your time alone. So my plan now, as I reflect back on Thanksgiving, which is what I want you to do, because I'm telling you all this so that you can do the same thing I'm doing, which is look at what didn't go well, okay, during a recent holiday. Doesn't have to be Thanksgiving. What didn't go well? What holiday's coming up for you that you want to go better, or that you want to feel better? Because most of it for me is I wanted to feel better. I didn't want to feel like I was in the thick of all these conversations all the time and that I had to be, that's a whole ego thing for me. We won't get into my issues, but I think you probably figured that out. But the point is start looking at what went well, but what didn't go well, and really be honest with yourself. Look at yourself. What didn't go well? It didn't go well with some other people from their side of it. And how can you handle it better next time? Did you react? Did you let them trigger you, like happens in family settings when we go back in after we've grown up and left? This can happen. So really sit down and analyze this, because the reason this is important is it tells us a lot about ourselves, and it tells us a lot about what triggers us and how we can grow in this. And believe me, it will make you feel so much better, because I can't tell you how much better I felt during Thanksgiving when I stepped back out of the fray, watched it like I was watching a movie. Everybody was having fun, enjoying themselves, getting along. And sometimes, you know what? And I think I have to admit this, maybe I was a big part of the problem. Because I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of opinions and I like to talk, and I can end up adding to that vibration that's not great for everyone, right? When we're in that ego state. So now it was a much smoother energy. So look at how you're contributing to the dynamics, because I bet you are in some way. Always take a hard look at yourself
first. Look at what others are doing, and also then look at how you're getting triggered and how can you assist yourself forward and change that up. Because as I say, the awakening journey is all about learning and becoming better as a human, not just a soul, but the totality of a human, and that includes our relationships. So with that, I would say to you, take that practice, run with it, and plan out for your next holiday, be it Christmas, New Year's, whatever it's going to be. And what are you going to do differently, either with your friends or your family, and change it up and do the things that make you feel more comfortable in how you relate to others, and also more comfortable for you, and not have to have all this obligation energy out there that you're going to do everything with everybody and exhaust yourself. Because in the awakening journey, we have got to physically take care of ourselves, mentally take care of ourselves. People don't understand that aren't going through the awakening. And so be it. And the thing is, with these December energies, you all know, I've done a recent video on this, things are much more powerful right now. So you got to care for yourself. So remember that as you're going in to the end of the year and what can often be a very busy holiday month for many of us.
Okay, that's a wrap up for today. The next thing we're going to be doing in another week or so will be the December energy update. Yes, if you can believe it. Anyway, I really thank you for joining me today. I hope you took something away for your journey and that you're going to enjoy the holiday season that you celebrate during this time. So check out purplerainhealing.com if you want to see all of my services, channeled messages, past life sessions, spiritual awakening guidance, one-on-one mentoring, and distance energy healing. I would love to work with you. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.